Hey everybody, what's up? Next Redstoning episode coming along, and this time I will show you something that you cannot build in survival because it involves command blocks. And what it is this. It's an item shop that trades XP for items. So if you take a look at this, for example, it takes 3 XP and gives me 2 iron ingots. So you can see my XP level is 5 at the moment. And I don't have anything in my inventory apart from this stuff in my hotbar. But I don't have any iron in there. And if I step on this pressure plate now, you can see my experience levels are down to 2. And I've got 2 iron ingots. So it took those 3 experience from me and it gave me 2 iron ingots. Now that I have 2 experience, that's obviously not enough for buying 2 more iron ingots, so when I step on here once again, it will not sell it to me. Nothing will happen. And that's what it does. So, yeah, it's pretty useful for, I don't know, I mean, it's really useless in, if you're playing survival, right? But it can be useful in servers, or if you're playing the invasion mod or something. If you don't know the invasion mod, check that out, it's a cool mod. Or something like that, so yeah, it can be useful for stuff like that. And let's get into building it, right? Okay, so this is the redstone behind it. It's really not very much, so let's just get right into building it, right? So let's assume that this is the position where the pressure plate will be. Right? So we assume that we will come in from here and then just step on the pressure plate like this. Let me just get one. That's not a pressure plate. That's a pressure plate. So we assume that we go in right here. Now, first of all, you need some wall blocks here. They don't have to be transparent, but it's pretty important to make sure that nobody can get in from the side or something, so that you only have one direction from which you can step on the pressure plate. That's quite important, so you need to remember that. So what we want to do is, first of all, we want to place 4 command blocks like this. So 1 directly on the pressure plate, then 1 block space free, 2 above each other, and then a single one once again. Now we want to place a comparator here, which recognizes whatever this thing does. Now, you might think that we just give the put the XP command into this thing, like that would be /XP minus 3 L and then at P or something. But that doesn't work because it will always pull these 3 levels of XP from the player, even if he doesn't have them. Like, even if I have 2 levels of XP, then it will pull me down to 0, but it will still recognize that it has got XP from me. So it will still output a signal which is not intended, because we don't want the thing to do anything when the player doesn't have enough XP, right? So what we need to do is we need to use the test4 commands to recognize the player first of all. So what we do is slash test4, then at P, it could theoretically be at A too, but whatever. And then radius equals 3, so it only recognizes the player that's right above, right on the pressure plate here, right? And LM, meaning minimum XP level, equals, and then whatever you want to have, right? So we are gonna sell 2 iron ingots for 3 XP, so in my case it will be 3. Okay, done. So now, as you can see, when I step on the pressure plate now, nothing happens because I don't have 3 XP. I have 2 XP levels at the moment, so it doesn't recognize me. Now, these 2 command blocks are for actually doing the trade. So the first one is the XP command finally. So we remove fail once again. So we remove the XP levels from the player. In my case, it's 3 levels again. Can be something else, of course, as well, depending on what you sell for what. And here we just use the simple /give command, so /give at p, and then what's that? 265 2, if I remember it right. Let me check that for a second. Yeah, that's it. So that's what we do here. Now the problem with this is, this now, it recognizes the player, or not, depending on if he has the XP, but assuming he has the XP, this thing recognizes the player, and this gets the, well, this performs the trade, right? So it pulls the XP from the player and gives him the items. The problem is that this thing is on then, and we need a way to turn it back off. And what we do is we need to put another we need to put another signal into this command block, so he performs this test for command once again, but without having a player above. So what we do first of all is we don't do that, we do that, and we put a teleportation command in here. So that's /TP at p, and then we want to, let's keep that for now, we want to make him teleport relative to his position, right? And we want him to teleport 3 blocks back, so that would be 1, 2, 3, right? And we could of course get the coordinates, but we'll do something else. And if you take a look at my coordinates, if I go into this direction where we want to get the player to be teleported to, then you will notice that my x-coordinate increases. So we need to increase the x-coordinate by 3. And the y and z coordinates don't change, right? So what we do is we type in this. So this means that it teleports me 3 blocks relative to my current position in the x direction, and then 0 blocks and 0 blocks, 0 blocks, no, 0 blocks into the other 2 directions. Done. So that way we make sure that no player's on here anymore, right? So because the player that performed the trade will be teleported back. And now the only thing left is making, whoa, yeah, Bugcraft. Making this, so after quite a bit of time, this thing receives the signal once again. Was that the right time actually? Yeah. It receives the signal again, but as the player has been teleported back, it doesn't recognize any player anymore, and this turns back off, and that resets the whole thing for recognizing the next player. Okay, so let's test it. You can see I gave myself some XP levels, and you can see I've got 4 iron ingots in my inventory right now. And let's step onto this, and there we go. It works fine. The problem, of course, is that we could theoretically run into this, right? Like right now it doesn't do anything, it doesn't recognize me anymore, but I would be teleported back, and if I'm quick enough I can run into this and break the whole thing, because this thing receives the signal once again, but I'm still on the pressure plate, right? So it doesn't turn off this thing, so nothing happens, and that breaks the whole contraption. So we need a way to make sure that no player gets into this while the whole thing is still resetting, and that's what we're gonna do now. So game mode 1, that's right, game mode. So what we do is we put a piston here. So I put a piston right there, and then we put a repeater here, and just put this line here. So as soon as this thing recognizes the player on top, this will turn on and the piston will extend and make sure that the player, that no other player can step into it. Now, the thing is, this doesn't work still because of the reset. The reset takes place quite a bit of time later, and the piston would already be retracted while this thing is not reset. So we put one more redstone here, so this keeps the piston extended until this line turns back off. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's do this once again. And now you can see, there we go. You can see the piston extended for the time that the whole thing has been resetting itself. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's how you can set up an item shop that uses XP. One thing, when you're actually building it with several spots next to each other, you need to remember that you need to have at least 4 blocks in between to make sure that the redstones don't interfere with each other. In this case of this thing, I used 5 because it fit better with this design, but you need to use at least 4. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you want to see more videos of this kind, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Goodbye.